What's up, guys? This is Wade from Tables, Ladders, and Bumps here with Marlon and Pierre here to break down this last week of wrestling content, including Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. We're gonna get some AEW stuff in there too. And yeah, we've kind of changed the names of some of our segments. We got What's Poppin', which is basically this Raw review. And we have the 3 count, and we're gonna end with a no hate, just debate. And if we're lucky, Pierre might even bust out one of his tinfoil theories. Uh but yeah, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers in the next week or next month. And yeah, we got tons of wrestling content for you guys, and we might have some crazy stuff for Raw next week with Marlon and I. We're gonna be there in person, so maybe we're gonna get thrown by Bronson Reed or something into Braun Strowman. Who knows?
Man, imagine if they brawled next to us.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
they throw your daughter.
Oh yeah, please. Please do it. Please. What an
But
honor.
yeah, let's start with the with what's poppin' for the Raw review. And Marlon, what do you got for that?
I got the promo between Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. I was just really impressed by both of these two. It's been a minute since I've heard Braun Breaker do an in-ring promo. Trying to remember if he's done any on the main roster. Usually it's just backstage stuff. Anyway, one or two may have slipped through the cracks that obviously isn't memorable for me, but this one I thought he did very well. I was actually proud of him. Again, the proud daddy moment for all my NXT children coming up and doing their thing. Reminded me of his promos when he would go. I think his best material was against Carmelo Hayes in NXT as far as face-to-face promos. Um, so this totally reminded me of that. Him calling out Jay, saying he doesn't need his family to help him out. He ditched the Steiner name. He did it all on his own, and how Jay is doing it is the only reason why he's big is because of his family. Jay had a really good clapback, talking about how he's gonna walk his dog ass. He's gonna dog walk his ass, and then
Yep.
how he was like, it's gonna be short and sweet, like Braun's NFL career. To which Braun's face was just like, oh, like surprise emoji. Love this promo. What did you guys think?
You can go, Pierre.
I'll go. Um, Surprised. Like I was surprised by Jey Uso's comeback. You know, one of the big knocks to Jay is that his promo skills lack like severely, and for him to actually kind of steal the show in this promo, I give props to Jey Uso with that, man. So I was digging into the comeback, even the little spirit that he hit. Like this was a
Mm-hmm.
good showing for Jey Uso leading into that match for next week for the IC title. So shout out to Jay, man. I hope he's able to build from this going forward. We'll see. But what you got, Wade?
I thought it was fine. I wasn't like high on it at all. There were so many good promos on Raw that I honestly forgot about their promo until you had texted us saying that was your thing. Other than Braun going 500 miles an hour and getting hit in the spear, which was awesome. But I know I thought, especially considering neither of them, I would say their strong suit is promos. It was a pretty good promo between them. Uh, but yeah, I just thought, I mean, overall it was pretty it was good for them, but I wasn't that impressed. I liked CM Punk's promo better. I liked a lot of promos better on it, but it did get me more excited for the match. And I think with Braun's style and how fast he is, it's going to actually help Jey Uso look better because Braun will be going so fast that he's going to like run into Jey Uso super kicks and his spears that it's going to end up making Jay look, in my opinion, a lot better than he normally does.
Right.
So I think yeah.
Do you think this has the potential to be Jay's best match? So he had a
Yes.
pretty good match against Dragunov too, but Dragunov was the common factor in that.
Yeah, Dragonoff will headbutt your foot so it makes contact. So I mean, I think it'll be like on par. It could be on par with that. Maybe
Okay.
almost more exciting because uh, there
He
might
is
be
close
some
enough for a person.
botches that make it look more fun. Where,
Okay.
oh shoot, I wasn't supposed to get my solar plexus destroyed by this, but I'm going too fast. Oh well, type of thing. So yeah, I'm hoping it's kind of like a train wreck, but in a
That'd be
fun way.
sweet. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
So what do you got for your what's poppin', Pierre?
So for me, I'm going with from SmackDown. So I love. We didn't get to see the face off between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam, and we missed that because Jacob was, quote unquote, hurt. And then we had maybe a couple of weeks ago Roman with the Ulafala putting it on, and then getting super kicked by Jacob Fatu and pretty much being taken out by Jacob Fatu. And so we were still waiting for that interaction, like the face to face, like just like some type of sparring between those two. And we got that at SmackDown, in the steel cage. We got Roman eyeing him down, telling him, "Come on, you big, you bad, you tough. Come in this ring." And Jacob didn't hesitate. He got in the ring, was getting ready to square with the tribal chief, and so Solo pulled them out. So I mean, that was I'm more excited for the possible matchup between Jacob and Roman than I am for Roman and The Rock right now.
Right.
So how do you guys feel when you saw them possibly about to go toe to toe in the ring at this past Friday? How you guys felt about that?
You can go, Marlon.
I'm excited. I mean, just the thought of it as you were describing the possibility of it really does get the juices flowing. That would be so anticipated. I'm hoping the crowd would pop for it. So, I feel like Jacob versus Roman is the. I think WWE knows that is what the fans want, so that's why they keep blue balling us about it and just keep us on our toes about it. So they're not letting it happen for a reason. What about you, Wade?
Yeah, I mean that's the money match for me. I want to see
Mm-hmm.
that match at WrestleMania. I don't care any other match that Roman has other than Dom versus Rhea. This is probably the match that I'd be second most excited for by far. Yeah, I think they would have really good chemistry, and I think the craziness of um Jacob Fatu I think will be interesting. Roman's also a really good babyface wrestler too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually in ring even better as a babyface because he kind of drags things out a bit as a heel, and
Yeah,
it's very
Okay.
methodical.
yeah.
Where when he's with Jacob Fatu, like there's gonna be a lot of times where he's gonna have to he may be fighting off like and really showing kind of weakness and stuff.
Yeah.
And his moves are kind of like babyface moves too. It's not like
Hmm.
Superman punch is really a heel move or
Superman. Yeah.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
That's
Superman's
like
like
the
literally the
doomsday punch
most
or something like that.
yeah. Yeah, so I think it'll be an awesome match. I don't know if they'll do it for Mania though. I'm kind of a little bit
Mm.
worried that they're gonna end up doing. I mean, if they do Rock versus Roman, that's fine. I think Cody versus Rock is a better match,
Hmm.
and I think Jacob versus Roman is
Hmm.
that's an awesome match.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
um, but you guys have anything else on that?
Mm-mm.
Because
I,
that kind
I
of
mean, I
oh,
would
go
like to
ahead.
see it at like the main stage, like at Mania. It's just I don't know how they get to drag it out that long. And that means the Bloodline storyline has to will continue on past that. I would think, I feel like the Bloodline storyline kind of culminates at WrestleMania this year, or 41 or whatever. I think that's the end of this storyline. So I don't know, man, but I hope they do it. They're teasing us again with the tag team at Bad Blood, matchup. But I want to see the 1-on-1 at some point. So yeah.
Soon as you get The Rock in, though, it changes everything, I
Hmm.
think. Because you could have Jacob Fatu and The Rock turn on Solo. That's how you extend it
Hmm.
out. And just have
Hmm.
Solo kind of just write Solo off. Realistic, he's got enough screen time for 3 years
Yeah.
from this one 6 month run. So I think you just have them basically Solo's gonna lose. This is him gonna be losing a bunch of times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Write him off. Have all those guys kind of turn on Solo, and then you have Jacob Fatu like under the Rock go against Roman. The Rock wins the Royal Rumble by being the 31st entrant or something. Something super cheap.
There's your
And then
theory right there.
yeah, then that's how you kind of go into that. That's how I would do it because I think that is a money match. And I don't think it's too long because this is about the time period where they started the Jimmy and Jay stuff, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was like SummerSlam. So even
SummerSlam.
I would say they had started those rumblings even before then too, where like this Jacob Fatu's at SummerSlam, but he doesn't. This is the first time he interacted, and it's a whole pay-per-view later than that. I think you got enough time. I mean, they're doing one match. I'm changing my what's poppin' actually because um there was a match. Like all of us know Bronson Reed and Braun were awesome. Like every week it's the coolest thing. We don't need to talk about that again, even though like I popped with a fan being thrown as a lawn dart. But
But why give me the black guy? Why did black guy get thrown as a lawn dart?
I don't know, man. Well, it was yeah, I mean that's a fair point, but maybe that was the smallest person in the front row. Easiest to throw.
What'd you get for your what's popping?
I got Iyo Sky versus Bianca.
Okay.
Great match.
And
Great match.
Yeah.
this and I had been thinking about this when I was watching the match, and like the What Culture guys kind of touched on this too. That you guys know I'm not like super into Jade Cargill.
I know where you're
And
going with this. I know where you're going.
they've been wasting Bianca forever for this Jade Cargill match at WrestleMania. And I'm annoyed for multiple reasons. One, like, and I'm not even the biggest Bianca fan either. Like Marlon's, like I like her and I think she's awesome in ring, and I think stadium wrestler, she's probably like top 3 in WWE. Like in a stadium, like that's a specific skill set, and she's awesome at it. But I don't like Jane Cena type of her character like that. I think I don't like what they've done with her character overall, but it's just like a waste of over a year of her for her to basically hope that someone gets better at wrestling so when they have a match at WrestleMania it's like good.
Yeah.
And they were kind of teasing towards last year at Mania Bianca versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
Didn't do it because they needed to set everything up for Jade, who was, I guess, fine in her minute and a half in that match. But I think we all will agree that if you would have given Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca the 15 minutes you gave that damage control match, it would have been way better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Tiffany had like earned her stripes in WWE at that point and had big
Yeah.
matches. And Bianca had earned, or and Jade had earned, you mean nothing at that point. Um, so
And
that
Tiffany
was,
Stratton had the fans behind her too. Not to start interrupt,
yeah,
but she had the fans
she
too.
she had the
Yeah.
fans too. So,
Ever since
I,
Chamber.
so you're gonna basically waste Bianca at 2 WrestleManias for Jade Cargill,
Yep.
and then Iyo Sky has just been kind of doing random shit since she lost the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like for no, and she's every time she's wrestled against someone good and been able to have over 10 minutes, the match has been like a
Amazing.
4.5-star match. Every single time, like Lyra Valkyria, like every single person they've given her a chance. And then this like Liv and um
Rhea.
what's Rhea's storyline is just holding up that belt. And you don't have the mid
Mm-hmm.
card belts. So like I feel like that the mid card title, we heard they were coming. Where the hell are they? You have
Yeah.
so much flaw in this female roster because what is there for like Iyo Sky to do? like I guess she's gonna go for the tag belts now, but they're like wasting both of them in a tag division no one cares about at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of annoyed with all of it, and I've become even more of a Bianca Belair fan because
Yeah.
now I miss seeing her wrestle all these 6 singles matches that I
Hmm.
took for granted the year before. Um, but it was nothing against her. It was just the booking of making her kind of like an unstoppable person, like John Cena. Essentially,
Right.
Yeah.
was the stuff that was annoying me, and they made her character too corny. Uh, like her in NXT is a way cooler character, where she's you mean sassier and you mean has more
Hmm.
edge. But what do you guys think about that whole? I know I opened up a can of worms on a lot of stuff there, but with like how Io and Bianca are being used essentially for like Jade and you mean Liv Morgan to have their stuff.
Yeah,
No, go.
I feel the as the What Culture guy said, like I was like, man, these these people in Monday Night Raw get this match. Like this is a PLE level match.
Yeah,
As especially as singles competitors. If it was tag, maybe one thing, maybe it would be a shorter match, but like these two showing out like this in a singles match is what a treat for these people in the stadium, in the arena. Secondly, they brought up a good point of saying that they're like overqualified for this match, Bianca and Io. It's like their resume is way too good for this just to be like an exhibition. And you're right. I feel that I took Bianca for granted as a singles competitor. Last time we really saw her show out as a singles person was at Royal Rumble in the Rumble, just showing her dominance and throwing people out the ring and doing like showing power versus power against Jordan Grace, against Jade. So I I forgot how she was as a singles competitor. And this was like kind of like an FU to creative of like, look, you're gonna put us in a match together, then we're gonna show out and show you what you guys are missing. What about you, Pierre?
Um, yeah, man, I agree. Like, yeah, you brought up a lot of like great points. Wade, just like saying like we've been watching her in this tag team with Jade Cargill for the longest now, and the tag titles. I thought they were gonna put them together and somehow elevate the tag team titles to be something like great,
mm-mm.
and that didn't happen. You know, it seemed to be the tag titles seemed to have more value when it was with the Unholy Union versus them being with
I
Jade
agree.
Cargill and Bianca Belair. And then for now them to have the titles back, and now, like I say, it's just a division that is kind of just lagging, And with the Raw possibly going to 2 hours, that just leaves the possibility of more women's matches being cut out. And last night Monday was a perfect example why that shouldn't happen. When you have two great wrestlers in the ring like Io Sky and Bianca Belair, they can put and you give them the right amount of time, they can do amazing things, and give them more matches. I want them to run this back. You got Carmelo Hayes and Andrade over there on SmackDown doing probably a best of 7. Can we get that on the women's side with Bianca and Iyo Sky? Like that'd be dope. I was fortunate to see them wrestle in Puerto Rico at Backlash, and that was a great match. And the crowd was starting to favor Iyo Sky during that time.
Yeah.
In the match because she would just put on an amazing show. Io hasn't disappointed since losing the title, and that's great to see that she's not actually like getting buried and being forgotten about by just having tick on TV. So I don't know, man. Like you're right, man. I don't know if I wanted to see the Jade Cargill versus Bianca match anymore.
No.
They haven't shown anything with Jade to make her seem like this gonna be worth it. We all know that that's coming, but in the meantime, like you're wasting Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
We see what she can do, and once again, you got all these good women wrestlers, and there's nothing for them to do. Like you say, the title's being held up between Liv and Rhea, and that's just been held up. It's probably gonna be held up for another like maybe like 2 months. Then what? So there's no mid card title. They announced the Speed Women's title, but who's gonna watch that?
No,
We don't get to see that nowhere.
they
So
don't even
this
acknowledge it
point,
with the person wearing the
yeah,
belt to Raw or SmackDown.
yeah.
Mhm.
They don't even know. I don't even know who the speed male champion is right now. I
Probably
have no
still
idea.
Ricochet.
He took it with him.
He's
Yeah,
still
man.
still the speed champ.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, I want more for Bianca Belair. I want more for the women's division, period. And just in general, like I hope they creative sees what is they were able to do Monday night. Being having the match of the night, you got this stack card of Punk coming out, Brian Breaker and Jey Uso, the Judgment Day storyline, all still great stuff. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, all great stuff that happened on Raw. But what stood out to me the most was Bianca Belair and Iyo Sky to me, just with how they were able to just wrestle. But as far as like a wrestling match,
Mhm.
They're also they're right. Both of them are right in the middle of their like um primes. They're both like 34, 35. What if they want to have kids? I know that's like not like a sexist thing to say, but that does take someone out of commission for a bit. Like, and
yeah,
you don't know how everyone's going to come back from that, or
yeah,
even if they're going to come back, like Alexa Bliss.
hmm
So you're really wasting the prime of both of these like all-time great wrestlers um for like for
I
like
hope for the
hoping,
storyline.
yeah, for
Yeah,
like a storyline that's not even like the hurt Bianca and Jade. It's not even. It's not like they're reinventing the wheel or anything here with this
Mhm.
storyline. It's not anything special. Like the New Day breakup thing, that's very nuanced and that's really good. But
hmm
they also are making Bianca in these tag matches look like not that good because
we
she has to get beat
yeah,
up for Jade to get the hot tag.
Yep.
yeah,
So, yeah, I just and I don't even. It's not like I dislike Jade. I just don't think all this is like. Gosh, imagine if they booked Karrion Cross to the level that they booked Jade. You know what I mean? Like they never gave
yeah,
him a shot at all.
yeah.
Realistically, he's lost 5 feuds. Not like he deserves. I think he's funny, but like, imagine like they put that. I mean, Bronson Reed's like perfect example. Like he got the treatment. Like now he's getting the whatchamacallit, the red carpet, and they're
Yeah,
doing cool stuff. Like I feel like they've set Jade up as much as they really can,
yeah.
and uh, like she just can't put in the matches. So what are you gonna do?
Mhm.
Her promos are good, I think, but uh, like I don't know, they're like scared to have her wrestle. It
Mhm.
feels
Yeah,
like
that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so. Which makes me worried when you're scared to have the person wrestle. It makes me uncomfortable about what the match is going to be at WrestleMania. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that in the comments below? Do you think they're wasting Io Sky and Bianca Belair? Um, do you think I'm a jerk about Jade Cargill? Let us know. We won't be offended, most likely. Uh,
You won't get invited to Black People Meet for this anymore.
no, I'm defending Bianca Belair though. This is all to defend Bianca Belair. So if I said yeah, I could have said that. If I was like, they need to have who's a super white person on the roster. If I was like, no, they need to have Liv Morgan in more stuff than Bianca and Jade, then you could take my card. Um, yeah, Bianca's so good. Yeah, I just now I'm mad at myself for getting annoyed with her last year because I'm like, dang man, just I miss seeing those matches of her just doing banger after banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, but yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Now we're gonna move into the 3 count. And Pierre, what do you got?
So I wanted you missed this one because I think you was away on business, but I saw like a excerpt from like I think it was the coach Johnny Coachman, and he was talking about the extreme spots at All Out. I think in particular the Swerve and Hangman Page match.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying how like stupid that was that they booked that stuff and it's unnecessary and you're putting guys in like danger, just for entertainment. And so a lot of time across my feed, I don't know what page this is, but it's some wild stuff that pops up where people are just doing crazy stuff. I saw two dudes wrestling on top of a trailer, and a dude did a suplex on another dude, and then a car drove through the trailer as the dude was suplexing each other, and the trailer exploded. And it's like, yo, like things like that. So I guess my question for you guys is more so, do you think these extreme spots are necessary? Like the Darby Allin spot, him jumping off of a 15, 20-foot ladder into two pane glass on steel chairs. Like for what? Like
That
why is
spot was
that
so
needed?
sick, though. That was so sick. Marlon, you were at my house when we watched that, weren't you?
That
We
was so
popped so
crazy.
hard for that. We're like, oh, like
That
that
was
was one of the
so
coolest
crazy.
things I ever seen. Um, so do you want to go first, or I could go
Go
first?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I'm about to ISO out on this since
Let's
I'm
do
the
it.
one who watches AEW
ISO.
a lot more.
ISO. ISO.
So, a lot of these people who I see complain about this stuff, if WWE did the same exact thing, they would not say anything about it. So that's kind of my first issue
Hmm.
with it. Like the Hangman match, there's only one spot that. Which spot was he talking about in particular? The needle?
I don't remember him actually like saying a spot. I just saw like just like I didn't watch the interview. I just saw like a little clip or like a little just still of someone saying something, a quote they took out,
Oh,
from him.
yeah. So, I mean, that story has been. The short answer is yes, it is necessary sometimes. If you're building up this blood feud, and I was at the Hangman versus Swerve in LA, their Texas death match where like Hangman drank Swerve's blood, and like it was like the most insane thing I'd ever seen. I'll probably never see a match like that in my life. It was unreal. But they had built up all this stuff. Like Hangman had invaded Swerve's home. Swerve bought his childhood home that was foreclosed on because his parents were poor, and then like Hangman burns it down. Like this is an intense blood feud that has been
Mhm.
written really well over the course of a year and a half. So it culminating in, I mean, them slamming each other on cinder blocks, and like I heard people complaining about the hypodermic needle thing. Like if
Mhm.
it's sterilized, that is not really dangerous, like almost at all. Like if you're poking it in the cheek, compared to other things that I've seen wrestlers do, like light tubes can be actually more dangerous than using a sterile needle in someone's cheek.
Mhm.
Realistically, it just looks way worse. Um, the um, I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm going to use this into my thing because I'm going to talk about John Moxley later. But I mean, the whole Brian Danielson like bag on the head thing, like we see people get choked out with belts or chains in wrestling matches, like on WWE and stuff. You could die from that. It's
Mhm.
just the bag looks worse because we don't see it. So I think some of the stuff, if you got two wrestlers like Hangman and Swerve, those dudes are so good. And there's such, even in storyline, they hate each other, but there's such a trust between those two guys. If both these guys think they could do this in a way that looks dangerous, but they're being safe with each other, then I'm cool with it. But
Mhm.
generally I see people complain like when uh Jungle Boy was like lit on fire, like people were complaining about that, saying like someone's gonna die and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, he's covered in flame retardant. He has like special, my dad's a firefighter. I like asked him, like, is there like ways to do that? And he's like, yeah, they do it in Hollywood all the time. It's not a huge deal. So a lot of times there's smoke and mirrors that we don't know how they do it. Darby
Mhm.
jumping 20 feet off on glass, I don't know. I don't think there's any way they really. I think he's just a psychopath. Like that one, that's a fair point on that one. But some of the other ones, I feel like if it goes with the story and you want to do it and the wrestlers want to do it, um, the big injuries in AEW is generally from people doing regular things other
Mhm.
than Edge jumping off the thing. And it's like that is just dumb. Like I don't like yeah, if you jump off people have jumped off that a cage a million times, but no one jumps off like onto their legs. So
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I think people go overboard with it, and if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then just don't watch it. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, two things. One is if WWE did it, that it would be the coolest thing. And just because AEW is doing it and it's also on TV and it also has, I would say, similar spotlight or access to see it, that's when there's criticism. Also because it's not WWE.
Mhm.
I'd say one more thing too is like they have matches like this in a lot of indies, a lot of indie leagues too. Like GCW has like I think it's like they have like the electrocution like barbed wire or something like
Yeah,
that, don't
barbed
they?
wire exploding, death
But
match. I think they have
yeah,
electrocuting ones too. Like
yeah, they have
there's
like the
way crazier stuff in indies.
yeah. So those don't get the shine, and I think a lot of people project that AEW is just trying to do it for clout or rage bait, and
Mhm.
clout bait and clickbait. But it's a totally different company with a totally different creative. And these wrestlers, they're down for doing this kind of stuff. Like this is what they like to do. And I highly doubt that half of the roster in WWE would be willing to do any of that, you know?
No.
So I feel that AEW is just it's gritty. That's the style that it is. And it's about wrestling too. So
The ECW back in the day.
exactly. We talked about this on a previous conversation. It's like if WWE decided to bring back ECW, everybody would be all for it. But we're like, oh, like AEW's already ushered that back in, and they're on
Mhm.
a big platform too, possibly bigger than what ECW had back in its time.
It's
So
certainly more it's actually profitable, so that's the difference.
yeah, exactly. So I feel that the extreme spots they don't bother me. Do I prefer to watch that? I mean, do I choose elect to watch them? Not all the time, but it's cool to see that they're doing something different than what the Fed is doing.
I'd be
Gotcha.
curious
Gotcha.
if the person was bothered by Mariah May like slicing up Tony Storm and stuff
Mhm.
like that too. Like I'm just I would again, I don't know the exact thing they were referencing in AEW because I mean there's you could pick out a random spot, but uh, I mean they've done dumb stuff in WWE like the Undertaker was lit on fire because they didn't know how to do pyro right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kept wrestling a match when he had secondary
Yeah.
burns all over him. And that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like I feel like that's significantly worse than throwing someone on a cinder block. Uh like people have broken their back from that exact spot because it was not done right and everything. But I don't know, I've just seen stuff in WWE where I feel like when the people complain about it, I'm like, do you only watch WWE from like 2015 on or like what's the deal with
Yeah.
Exactly.
this?
Yeah, that's true. Well, why don't you transition into yours then, Wade?
Yeah, so mine is that John Moxley is like cool again. It is
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of annoyed me or I just have not been into his character for almost like the last year in AEW. He had like a stint in New Japan. I wasn't like a huge fan of that stuff. I saw him wrestle in Ontario like for the New Japan thing and it was like whatever. I don't know. I was not really into his character at all. The Blackpool Combat Club that he was a part of with Danielson. I like every single wrestler in it, but I hated the group somehow. I've never had that happen in my life where every single individual wrestler is one of my like top 20 wrestlers right now, but I despise the group. It's how does that
Right.
even happen?
Yeah.
So, and his character was just like I don't know, like I'm a hard ass and I'm gonna kick out of everything. I don't even know what his character was. But now this dude's kind of a psycho, like actually legitimately a psychopath. And I feel like uneasy when he's in the ring and doing promos and stuff. It's I don't know how he like this switch was flipped or what, but I'm every time he's involved in something now, I'm like completely drawn into it. Whereas before, I would just kind of like my eyes would glaze over, and sometimes he had a sick match, but generally I was not a fan. But he's, I mean, him that bag thing when I was watching that pay per view, and I saw bag come out, and I thought, no way are they gonna do this. There's no freaking way. And then they put the bag over his head, and it goes on for so long, and I felt so uncomfortable. But that's the point.
Yeah,
Like, what kind of sicko is gonna like do that like just on a pay-per-view to someone? I think
right.
Mick Foley was like the last person that did it or had it done to him on a major TV thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, and this new character is just really cool, and it kind of goes with what you're saying. Like, is it necessary to do these things? Well, like this is an exact example. They did something that's obviously like gimmicked in some way, so you're not gonna like actually kill Brian
Yeah,
Danielson,
yeah.
hopefully. But it looks terrible. It's jarring. It makes you want to look away. A lot of people it bothers and they can't watch it, but that makes the character so much more interesting and uh like actually scary. Where
Hmm.
we have all the Wyatt Six stuff. Are they actually scary?
No,
No.
not
And
for a
they
second.
and they like supposedly shot someone in the head, but we're not actually like scared of them. It's like, oh, okay, that's would be weird if that girl popped out of nowhere on me. But other than that, but John Moxley, he tried to suffocate someone with a plastic bag. Anytime he's walking up on someone weird, I'm like, oh, what is like, what is this fool gonna do? He's a
Right.
weirdo. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about? Because I know you've seen some of the. You probably saw the bag stuff. I
Yeah, I
don't know
saw it
if you've
back
seen
then.
any of the promos that he's done, but I mean, yeah, he's actually pretty cool right now. So yeah, wanted to hear what you guys thought of that.
So the premise of his character is that he's taking over, not really taking over AEW, but saying like, because he said, Tony, this isn't your company anymore.
Yeah,
Right. And so he's kind of like this, not wild card, but this loose cannon within the company, just saying F the rules, forget any type of formality or courtesies. I'm here to just wreck house. Right? Is that what it is? Him and Marina Shafir.
yeah, and then most of the Blackpool Combat Club too. They got like Pac and like Claudio Castagnoli,
Yeah.
Cesaro. So
Yeah.
they're like that's a badass group
Yeah.
that and Marina Shafir beats up the most people right now. She's just like straight up like kicking people in the face with some
Yeah.
boots on all the time.
Good for her.
So yeah, they're just it is almost like an anarchy type of
Right.
like I guess the
Because
closest thing
are they
Joker
trying to like
maybe.
bring like some type of form like justice, like their own like brand of justice to AEW,
I
where they're
don't even
trying to
think
think that
I
out of
don't even
out
th-
of out of whack?
I don't even think it's that. I just think everyone's like a bunch of wusses on the
Uh-huh.
roster and like prima donnas, and they don't want those people in power, so they're just gonna take it over themselves and
Yeah.
like overthrow everything. It's still kind of early in the story, but
Mm.
I'm enjoying it, and that I don't know if you guys are super familiar with Wheeler or Yuta, but Walt Danielson, he was the only one in Blackpool Combat Club not that didn't know this was gonna happen, and he's like crying when
I
they're
saw
like
that.
almost
They were trying
killing
to hold him back.
Danielson. They're
Yeah.
like
I
holding
saw
him
that.
back, and he just looks
Yeah.
like because he's like their young boy on the team, like he was the one they were
Yeah.
mentoring and making tough. But he's like they have the trios titles, and he's one of the people that has the trios titles, and they just had on Dynamite. They're like, "Hey, we have to defend these titles. Like, are you going to be a man and defend them with us?" And
That's cool.
it's like a really weird, uncomfortable. vibe, and they're like, "Hey, you got to do the right thing and come defend these." It's like, well, the right thing, like you just almost like murdered someone on TV. Like what?
Yeah.
Like so it's like a weird, like it's a strange. I do not know how to describe it, but it seems very unique.
Hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
story they're trying to tell. Um,
They did like Bane and Dark Knight
yeah,
Rises.
yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
AEW's Reckoning.
yeah. I mean, it's no Rocky 3 in NXT or anything like that, but it is kind of like a. It's basically like a Batman thing almost. I don't know if any of them even like Batman, but yeah, I was thinking Bane or like yeah, probably
Joker.
Bane is yeah. Joker's like a little too crazy, but I would say Bane, yeah, is a better
Yeah.
example.
Hmm.
Um, because yeah, Joker just wants anarchy
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
craziness, where like Bane wants to like start everything over, kind of right,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
cleanse everything. I'd probably say in between the two.
Hmm.
So yeah, what do you think, Pierre?
No, I know I need to watch more, but I did watch the spot with the plastic bag. And I watched like so I didn't I feel like I saw like the whole clip of that. At first I saw like a little bit at first. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. And I watched like the whole clip, and the whole clip was like another like 2 minutes. And I'm like, what? This is like, can we do this right now? Like, what's going on? So I mean, that was cool. So even like to go back to like say like the spots, I remember the Attitude Era, and the Attitude Era had crazy things happening. You know, there was blood, there was people getting hit in the head with chair shots. Now that I think about it, I think it might have been the chair shot that Coachman was talking about that Swerve
Oh
had
yeah.
taken.
Oh,
Swerve. Yeah.
Yeah. And so crazy spots like this isn't new to professional wrestling, you know, like, and I think it does add to the story. Um, I like to see characters kind of be different and out of the box, you know. I don't you don't want to see anything that's been done constantly because I would go back to a Mark Henry thing when he had the interview with Chris Van Felt. And he says, you know, someone told him like, you know, everything's been done in wrestling, it's already been done already, you know, and it's impossible to pretty much make your own thing. So the bad spot has been done before, but has it been done to this degree? You know, different things,
yeah.
you know, putting your own twist on things changes stuff, and it does add to the story. Like AEW is filmed a certain way to me for a certain reason. Like if WWE is Metropolis, AEW is Gotham. You know, like the way it feels darker. You know, like and this is on Brandon. You know, for that. So
Hmm.
I'm cool with it. As
Hmm.
long as the people, and I think the other thing too, I think what people get hung up on is, you know, back in the day, you had people trying to wrestle and move from each other because, hey, that's what we do. Oh, we watch wrestling,
Yeah.
so we're gonna put someone in a tombstone power driver. You know, we don't know the real effects of it, but we saw like a clip of back then when Undertaker just learned how to do this tombstone, and he was really dropping dudes on their head. You know, and I think that's what people are afraid of. Like, if we keep watching people push the envelope with these extreme spots, then it's gonna make maybe people in the indies do more extreme stuff, and maybe those people don't have the right proper training to really execute these things they see on like a main stage, and now you got people possibly getting severely hurt or dying or whatever. So I think it might be that, or people might just be cute. So either one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were doing wrestling moves on each other. Me and my friends were just stabbing each other in the cheeks with hypodermic needles. So, uh, I think the chair was a gimmicked chair too, by the way,
Oh,
because it broke when he did it,
Hmm.
which makes me think that it was a gimmicked one that like it made a loud ass noise, but the part he hit him with was kind of broken off,
mm-hmm.
so it made me think, okay, like it's on a hinge almost.
Like the Cora Jade skateboard.
Yeah, except it
It
wasn't
wasn't even
that,
able to make
that
contact.
was so bad. It's like the worst thing I ever seen.
Oh man.
What you got,
Uh,
Marlon?
yeah.
So my three count this week is about wrestlers, their fans, and boundaries between the two. We see it in a few social media posts in the past couple of months. Rhea Ripley being, they're putting PSAs out on their Instagrams. Rhea Ripley was followed, said no to signing anything a few times, and then from there she swore that she wouldn't be doing autographs anymore. Bianca Belair put one up, I think last month or 2 months ago, saying, "When I'm at the airport, walk into my car, please do not follow me, do not talk to
Mhm.
me." And CM Punk put out one yesterday. I'll read a few lines from his. CM Punk wrote, respect boundaries and privacy. Airports are not a meet and greet. If I have to ask you to please stop following me multiple times, you've already crossed the line, and stop using your children as a shield or an excuse. Um, I live 30 minutes out of Los Angeles, North Hollywood, so there are run-ins over here, but because celebrities around here are, I wouldn't say frequent, but infrequent enough to know that where they hang out and everything. Like, I'm not the type to geek out or fanboy it if I see somebody. But if it was this wrestler, I don't know how I would act, to be honest. Like, sometimes I hold them higher than than Hollywood celebrities. I'm like, oh my God, like you're somebody who I watch every week perform and be this alter ego. So if I see a celebrity, I probably wouldn't leave them alone more than likely. Or if I did say something, I would just compliment them, thank them, and move on. But I wouldn't make a scene or ask for a photo or anything like that.
Mhm.
But if it was a wrestler, I don't know how I would act, to be honest. I don't want to be one of these people, obviously. I don't want to be a
Yeah.
stalker. But how
He's
would
like Timothy Chalamet, up yours.
yeah. um Seriously, like yeah, no, you're right. It's interesting to me because I cringe kind of like even when wrestlers are walking down the aisle towards the ring, and if they're not trying to be touched, or if they're not like trying to mingle with the crowd, like I cringe when like they're in the middle of a match or walking down the aisle and like a fan like touches them on their back or like just taps their shoulder real quick.
Yeah, it's gross.
And,
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm
just
just
to get
like,
the touch in. Yeah.
yeah, just to get to touch them. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I mean, I feel I respect what they're saying and totally like
Yeah.
I would never stalk them or anything like that. But I honestly don't know how I would react if I was at
Depends
the
who it is.
airport.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
say that until you see Rhea Ripley in person.
exactly. Exactly. So how would you guys, let's say you're at the airport waiting at the baggage claim, and Rhea Ripley or Swerve or I don't know, whoever else you may look up to for whatever reason, an Uso, which by the way, I did see Rikishi's dad
Yeah.
at the airport
You
at
saw
baggage
Rikishi?
claim. Yeah. Oh, saw
Never,
Rikishi.
never
Yeah.
considered that.
Saw
Oh,
Rikishi's
oh.
dad. No, no, I did see Rikishi at the airport
I
waiting
was
for
like,
his
how'd
luggage.
you know Rikishi's dead? Uh, I
Oh,
did see a wrestler at the airport. I saw Giovanni Vinci
yeah.
at
Okay.
and I actually like him a lot. Imperium was like one of my favorite groups at the time, but I just gave him a head nod because he's like on the phone, and I was like I did that, and he knew I knew who he was, and
Yeah.
because I was in town for the Royal Rumble, and I didn't want him to get like no one else noticed around me, and he's kind of like a I actually like him a lot. I think he's really good. So
Mhm.
I was pretty pumped that I saw him, but I didn't want to ask him, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" because
You want to start anything?
yeah, I didn't want to start anything, and there's just randos there that would have been like, "Oh, who's this famous person?" and try to take pictures with him, even though they don't like
Yeah.
him or know who he is. So I just kind of didn't say anything, even though I knew it was him. I
I
saw
Mhm.
think that's
Dij
good. That's a
Yeah, I
good
saw
move though.
Dijak and asked for a picture with Dijak, but I was right outside of the big store thing at WrestleMania,
That's
and
legit. I think that's
yeah, and I'm
okay.
like, "Dude, you're like you literally just walked out of the thing, can I take a picture with you?" And he was, like, cool about it, and only one
Yeah.
other person asked for a picture, and he was kinda just on his way, but he was cool about it. If he would've said no, I'd have been like, "Alright, dude, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you got a match tomorrow." So, that's how I've interacted in the 2 instances I
Mhm.
have. Now, if I saw Rhea Ripley, I probably wouldn't have just given her a head nod, I would ask for a picture since I paid, like, $500 to try to get a picture with Rhea Ripley, and then I didn't get one time,
Yeah.
so,
Right.
yeah, I probably would've,
Yeah.
uh were you done your hair like that for Rhea?
Yep. In my emo phase, this my senses is on.
Yeah. What about you, Pierre? Like, how do you think you would react? And, what do you think about people like stalking these people or consistently following them, which gives me the creeps, honestly. But
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, so I remember coming back from WrestleMania from Philly, and I was at the airport. So I'm in line and I'm walking around. I'm like, man, this is tall dude. And man, I turn back around, and it's DDP, and it's
Oh, no
DDP, and
way.
it's Ernest the Cat Miller, and both of them together. And so I'm like, man, like, but I'm so far ahead of them, I can't go back, and I gotta
Right.
get to my plane anyway, you know. So,
Right.
but I was able to make like contact with them, and I kind of like from a distance asked if I could take a picture of them because no one else really knew who they were, you know, or paying attention really. So I just kind of like had my hands like take a picture, and they say it was cool, so I took a picture of them, and they posed.
Yeah.
And then getting on the flight, I saw Mark Henry. He was sitting up front, and I was like, "Oh, it's Mark Henry." I gave him the head nod, you know, because I can't stop the line to
Right.
talk to Mark Henry, even though I would like to, you know. And so that was the case for that. But I feel like, I don't even know what I would really even
Right.
like say, you know,
Right.
like even we had that brunch, and it's an opportunity to meet wrestlers, you know,
Right.
like everyone was so like running towards them and pulling them in every direction that we didn't even get to like see everybody properly,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But we paid for to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and so, but still feeling like, they're not like animals at the zoo. Like they're still people, and they still
Mhm.
got stuff they want to do, and they still got lives. Like
Yeah. They
I
want to
think we
drink a
talk,
mimosa every now and then, for God forbid.
but yeah,
Yeah,
without me
God
smashing
forbid
it,
someone breaks it or something. Yeah.
man, some crazy jerk, trying to take pictures with people, you know. But like stuff like that, like I think it's cooler just for them to just have that interaction with them, and then them to acknowledge you. You know, like
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I
sometimes
have a.
where like I think when I went to Survivor Series in Chicago, and the night before they had SmackDown, and I took pictures with me and Yan and Raquel Rodriguez, and they had just acknowledged my fit, you know.
Yeah.
Or the same thing when I met Jay Uso this past, what was this,
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam,
Hmm.
you know. And you saw the video, you know, he like what I
Wrap it
had
up.
on, like that's cool, you know. That's just
Yeah. Yeah.
genuine stuff right there. That's not me
You're not
going out of the way.
gushing. You're not
I
gushing or
was
like, yeah,
inside,
He was
inside.
in
I
his
was,
pants.
of
In
course.
his
I'm saying.
pants. In his
I was
pants,
like
he
Pat
was.
McAfee inside, but on the outside though, poker face, straight poker face. You know,
Yeah.
I can't let him so like I'm blushing. You know, even though you can't see it.
Yeah.
But
Was this before
beyond
me and
that,
him changed her hair?
yes, it was still blue. But yeah, man, I think I have to be brutal with it.
Yeah, no, she legitimately looks better with the hair.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
No matter
why.
what she's
And
wearing.
it had nothing to do with the outfit change where her
No.
bazongas are showing all of a sudden. Nothing to do with that. So when I was at Mania, where you stand in the line and take the free pictures or
Mhm.
whatever with people, this dude,
Oh
I
yeah,
swear to God, he kissed Chelsea Green on the cheek.
dude.
I
They're
mean,
And
gonna
that's
I'm
ruin
so
it
like,
for
fucked up.
everybody.
yeah, they like the next day they're like, no, you can't touch anyone.
See?
They're like, do not touch anyone. And then this one guy who's like in front of me was so upset he couldn't touch the people. And he's like, "Oh, why can't we touch him?" And he's like showing me pictures. Look, this is me hugging Trish Stratus. And I'm like, dude, I don't like care. But he's showing me like all these pictures of him hugging hot female wrestlers. And I'm like, bro, that doesn't mean it's like, if they don't want you to do it, then like, it's not like you're not like entitled to hugging the
Entitled to,
person.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
we
think that's what
saw
it is too. I
that.
think it's a sense of entitlement to people. They think like, oh, I
Yeah.
watch you and I devote my time. You
Right.
mind no matter what. You always are CM Punk. You're always Rhea Ripley. You know,
Right.
you're always the character I see. Like you don't have a regular life. Like you here for my amusement, and I think that's
Right.
not the case.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
Uh,
so uncomfortable.
oh God. I think WWE is gonna catch on, and eventually it's just gonna be over a table, or they're gonna have barriers or something like that.
Mm.
I feel like it's gonna get more and more. If people feel so liberal to be acting like this, I feel like it's gonna be less accessible
Yeah.
and higher in price.
That's why I'm gonna get ringside and just lick them when they come by.
That's right.
Lick Jey Uso's sweaty shoulder. Can you imagine if you're wrestling and you back in and then you feel like something wet? You're like, what? And someone just has their tongue out.
I think that would break.
I wouldn't even be, to be honest, I don't even think I'd be mad. I would just be so thrown off. I'd be like, what the? Did I just get licked on the shoulder?
Yeah, I brought this up just because, I see it happen and like, you hear these stories and it's just like, don't do that. I feel like the best thing to do is what Wade and Pierre do is just give the acknowledgement, say what's up. That's it. Leave it.
And
And
then
then,
I say, ask and see if it's cool. If it's cool,
yeah,
I feel like maybe eight or nine times out of 10, they're gonna say yes. Unless
yeah,
they're really in a rush or whatever the case may be, they say no, and they say no, then it just is what it is.
yeah. Don't get all like butthurt if they say no. Like they got to live their life. They're probably in transit or trying to get somewhere too.
Or whatever, So
Yeah.
Pierre bought that thing that Rhea Ripley licked. Remember they
oh,
had the B-Day thing?
no,
Yeah, he's the one that licked her so that she licked her signature. Pierre bought it. Dude, $500, that's a steal. I'm not gonna lie.
No, there it is. There it is.
He
All
sleeps
right,
with it every night.
yeah, that's it. That's my 3 count.
All right. So I got do you want to do your tinfoil, Pierre?
yeah, I got one. So
Ooh.
not super crazy, but I was so disappointed that there was no surprises from the premiere episode of Friday Night SmackDown USA. So I'm like, man, watching the whole episode, I think we all thought The Rock was coming, or at least John Cena. So my theory is Bad Blood is going to happen. October 5th, Atlanta. I think The Rock might pop up. I feel The Rock is popping up at Bad Blood.
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
Quiet, lady. I feel like
Wow, that's how
The
you
Rock is
treat
popping
women?
up. Hey, man, they got to learn the place. I feel like The Rock is going to pop up.
AI
Bad
women.
Blood.
AI women is different.
The Rock is popping up at Bad Blood. We're going to get the return of the final boss. And maybe this could cause the turn for Cody Rhodes at some point. That's what I got. I got at least The Rock popping up at Bad Blood.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
The Rock or Metro Boomin?
He's gonna be there and he's gonna get involved in some match. I'm gonna be annoyed.
Hey, Tyrese Halliburton did a pretty good job last night on NXT.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
He's fun. I actually like him, and he made fun of himself not playing at all in the Olympics too.
That was awesome.
So yeah, I think that's a good theory. He's got to show up soon. It's either this or Survivor Series, right? Those are the next two.
Or Saturday Night Main Event in New York.
Or Crown Jewel.
Oh fuck! I forgot they have that stupid thing.
Yeah, me too.
When is that?
I think it's beginning of November.
Yeah, I remember there's like a short gap between Crown Jewel and Survivor Series.
Yeah, Blood Diamond, PLE. Good lord. Yeah, all right. Well, that's tinfoil theory. If you guys agree with Pierre, let us know in the comments below. Is The Rock showing up there? Is he showing up at Survivor Series? Is he showing up at Blood Diamond? Which one do you think it is? I think all three have a pretty good shot because the Saudis might pay to have The Rock be there.
Yeah.
Also. But I would love for him to be in Survivor Series.
In the match, in the War Games match?
In the match. I want him in the match. Just beating up people with weapons. Because you could gimmick it. He could just look like a boss.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now it's time for our no hate, just debate.
Let me warm up.
Yeah, you better get warmed up. We don't need you to get a cooch contusion. So, do you want me to give you the question or just I'll give you the question first.
No, that's it.
No. We'll do the number first.
Yeah.
All right. Number between 1 and 10. Pierre.
5.
It was 5. I don't even need to ask Marlon. So that was well, I mean, he got the number, so it is what it is. Okay. So Pierre, you could choose, I guess, which side you want.
Okay.
And the debate topic is AEW is more important to wrestling than WCW.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh.
um, at like all time.
Yep. WCW didn't last as long as you think. Like the prime of WCW was shorter than all
Prime.
AEW's whole reign. Yep.
I mean, WCW was from like 91 to 99, but the prime was like 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like whatever. If you think those
Yeah.
other years not in the prime were so important that it overshadows, then go for it. You could have that as part of your argument.
I'm gonna pick AEW as more important than WCW.
Oh, that's good.
Man, this is a tough one. I I defer.
Defer?
Marlon,
Want
pick
me
what
to
you
go
want.
first?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Pick
so
what side you want.
I thought you were deferring like who goes first. All right, I'll take WCW is more important than AEW.
Okay. All right, cool.
So you would say AEW is more important than WCW,
I
right?
argued. I
All right,
argued just because this was fun.
let's do it.
Okay. Um, want me to go first or Marlon go
Sure,
first?
sure.
Yeah, you could go first.
Okay. Um, AEW is more important than WCW because for the longest, I feel like WWE has been on top, and there's been no other promotion out there for wrestlers to really go to shine, and you just had to be at WWE. Now there's an opportunity to go somewhere else and to make a name for yourself when you didn't get the proper tick at WWE. Um, we've seen the likes of Cody left, did everything, came to AEW and started this big thing and built a name for himself and came back to WWE. I don't think he'd be able to do that from WCW and go to WWE. I don't know any people that went from WWE, WCW and came to WWE and became a bigger star, maybe outside of Chris Jericho, or Eddie Guerrero. Maybe those two really stand out. Booker T too. But besides that, we see the need for AEW. You get people like Ricochet who wasn't getting the proper tick on W.
Time. You ready, Marlon?
No, but let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Go.
Um, WCW going from 91 to 99, arguably 2000 with the acquisition. Uh, I'm thinking of all of the legends that are on Mount Rushmores that WCW created. Um, it was clear they were more in the wrestling business versus the entertainment business, and it was for the love of wrestling. So you have a lot of wrestling purists who enjoy these wrestlers more than the showmanship of WWE. So I'll say things like Ric Flair, Sting, the Four Horsemen, also along with Dusty Rhodes, and so many more. So WCW's impact on wrestling is unmatched, and it still is measurable because of the effects that it had on WWE as we know it, with legends being honored and legends being respected and placed on Mount Rushmore as well. AEW, it's too early to say that it's more important right now. We know it's important right now for
Time.
idiot. Okay.
Yeah. 45 seconds each next. Pierre, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, go ahead.
AEW has allowed a legend like Sting, who didn't get the proper shine in WWE, to go over to AEW and get the proper send off like he deserved. Um, that was great for Sting, and for his career, for his legacy, not to just end in WWE. Brian Danielson, pretty much written off in WWE. No more career over at AEW. Right now, he's world champion. Edge couldn't get re-signed at WWE or didn't get the deal that he probably wanted. Over in AEW, with a broken leg, he's back doing great things. Ricky Page, who's been out of action for a long time in WWE, couldn't get cleared over at AEW, doing work with this patriarchy character. The people's
Time.
dad.
Marlon, your turn.
Okay.
Surrender.
A WCW just WCW was a launching pad as well as a landing pad for so many respectable wrestlers like Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan. It restarted so many other people's careers and propelled them even past. So WCW, like you said, you mentioned Sting because Sting didn't get a proper send off or a proper spot with WWE. It was the creation of Sting and the mythos of Sting that was created in WCW for him to even land in AEW as he was. And granted, they did send him off in the proper way, but you think of, did I say Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan already, and the
Yep.
Outsiders and the
Time.
Outsiders?
So this is a particularly hard one because their influence on WWE is almost the same. Because both times WWE kind of sucked for a while, and because WCW
It's true.
their existence made WWE actually better,
It's
and
true.
same thing for AEW.
AEW. Yeah, it's good.
So the difference, I think, AEW is about to get that deal, and they're gonna be they're gonna last. This will make them last longer than WCW, and they're gonna be profitable too, which is significant difference to W. I cannot believe WCW was bought for $2 million.
What?
Yeah, it was tanking.
2 million.
Oh wow.
It's 2, right, Marlon?
Yeah.
I think it was 2 million.
Yeah.
That's like
What's
the craziest thing. Like
Yeah.
inflation ain't that bad.
What's the TV deal for AEW right now? I saw the headline, but I didn't see like what the details
I
were
think it's supposed to be 170 million a year
with TNT
with
or
TBS,
TBS.
TNT, Warner, and then there's supposed to be another deal, possibly that AEW is going to do with like Fox for another thing for like an hour
Is
every
that when they're
week or
adding the Saturday, the new show? Like they're adding another show,
some
right?
new show, yeah. So
Shockwave or something?
Shocker.
Shockwave, Shocker, yeah. So, but yeah, I think there's an argument for both. That's why I thought it was a good one because it's hard to. They're so similar in a
Yeah.
way, but
Yeah, as I was describing things about WCW, I was
I
like,
know I was like thinking,
I was like, AEW is probably doing it right now,
yeah,
or like is one of those things too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Basically, everyone's argument the exact same thing you could say about the other.
yeah,
So no
that's a
winner,
good one. Good one.
just
Take
for the
one.
love of the game. But if you think someone else won, let us know in the comments below, or you agree one way or the other. Let us know in the comments below. I think when it all is said and done, it'll end up being AEW just because it'll be. I think it's gonna last at least 15 years probably, where WCW was really a flash in the pan. So, but yeah, there's nothing else, right, guys? I'm not missing anything.
That is it.
Okay. That was our show. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, message us on Tinder, Black People Meet. We're all on there. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. Yeah, for sure. So and let us know what you do when you see a famous person. Do you stalk them? Let us know in the comments below. We promise the police will not search you up.
That's
So
a good one.
that's our show. I'll
That's
see
a
you
good
guys
one.
later.
Bye,
Adios.
guys.